This podcast is brought to you by all of our feline friends out there, all of our Nakos.
Nyan, nyan.
And if you want to support all the cats and keep those litter boxes full with litter and keep those dishes full of kibble and the fancy feast, you can go to aapodcast.com/join, or you can head over to Patreon, throw a couple bones, maybe they'll even be fish bones, and all those little feline friends will be following you all around town like the Pied Piper, nyan-nyan at you.
Nyan, nyan.
And with that, let's start the podcast.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello, and welcome into the 690th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. 69. See what we did there. Where our mission is to make your anime addiction worse. We are still on this mission. Today, I am joined by an unusual but inebriated crew. We have Caroline. She's hanging out. Caroline, what's up?
Heyo. I'm good. I have the last of my cookie dough whiskey.
Oh.
Very, very sad, but delicious.
Oh,
I even
man.
had some loose chocolate chips.
Oh.
And I ate them. And then I had a sip of this. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is a good combo. So let's have a good show, everyone.
Well, welcome to the podcast, and you might want to turn your mic up just a bit if you can. We're all going to be intoxicated today because we have a wild podcast. And speaking of wild, we have Pancake. She's in the house. Pancake, what up?
Hello.
What are you drinking?
I have mimosas bought by the bitches.
Just remember, I turned your mic up, so you should
Oh.
sit where you weren't planning on sitting.
Okay, yes, I forget.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry.
I got to keep these ladies in check today.
Fuck you.
Oh,
Don't
see,
start
I told
with
you
me
it was
already.
spicy.
Tell him.
So what are you
Oh
drinking
my
today, Pancake?
God.
What are you drinking today?
The lovely bitches known as the Hive
That's right.
bought me some fucking champagne, so we're gonna get white girl wasted
Oh.
on this Sunday afternoon. Let's turn up, addicts. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. Well, and I am drinking some Roku gin with a little bit of a mixer here. So I am pleased to be here with all of you. I'm not drunk yet, but I will be. So if you want to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/AAA podcast, live Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We got some pretty cool props today to share with you on Twitch. So people that are watching live get a little added bonus. We're all over the socials. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much everywhere you can find us. Chitin's doing a great job on the socials, so make sure to follow, give him a shout out on social media if you want to, make him feel appreciated. And of course, if you, the remainder here, if you want to follow us on Discord, we're on the march to 3,000 Discord members, which is a pretty good number for Discord because not everybody's got it. AAADiscord.com will take you straight to the Discord. It's 100% free, and you can participate in all of our activities, such as the listener choice, which we'll get to here in just a second. But if you would also like to rock a Acolytes of Mitsugi shirt or any of the other Anime Addicts Anonymous merchandise we have, you can go to aaashop.info. Now.
Oh, I have a question for Pancake.
Indeed.
Because
Yep.
like if people have not heard it yet, once this episode publishes, in our Hobby Addicts, we had quite the World War II theme going on because Mitsugi watched a documentary, I watched Oppenheimer, so we were talking about it. And
Wait, what do you mean Mitsugi watched it? If Mitsugi watches something, my ass has to watch it.
Oh, you fucking fall asleep.
We
You're
watched
sleeping.
it.
Okay, you guys both watched it. But then Mitz told me that you told him that girls are not interested in World War II stuff.
No, as a general rule, guys are way more into World War II shit than women are.
Okay, that's somewhat fair. Yeah.
Because every guy has this like ego thing about them that they think that they would have made the difference in World War II. So they just are really into it.
Do you
Okay?
Do you even know what country the Allies invaded the German the Germans in World War II. Since you watched it, you should probably know.
What do you mean?
Never mind. We can move on.
Yeah, the question didn't make much sense.
Yeah, it's fine. I was gonna make the point that Pancake acts like she watches, but then what really happens is she curls up and makes a little nest and falls asleep after about 3 minutes. So, and then I watch it for an hour. So that's what happens. All right, guys, listener choice. Every quarter, we let the listeners on the Discord vote for what anime we will be reviewing. So everyone on the Discord gets to pick 3 anime for us to review, which is, by the way, herp to derp, a good reason for you to be on the Discord. So quit fucking around. AAADiscord.com. It's free. 5th place. Sorry, but you don't get picked. Dark Gathering. 13% of respondents picked Dark Gathering. Came in 5th place.
I'll
So
be
you're
honest, I'm surprised.
the second runner.
So many people voted.
You didn't think it would even be that high?
No, I mean, I think it's just because of the choices this season. Because Dark Gathering isn't bad, but it's certainly not like high quality stuff. But I digress.
All right, well. So first runner-up, The Girl I Liked Forgot Her Glasses with 14%. And I just thank my heavens because that is the worst and blandest title I think they could possibly come up with for an anime. And nothing screams excitement more than The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. 14% of respondents, so that one doesn't get picked. Huge gap between 3rd place and all the rest of them. So in 3rd place,
Number 3.
we will be reviewing Helk. 30% of respondents picked Helk, which was the first anime selected. Number 2.
Number 2.
32% selected Rurouni Kenshin. So Rurouni Kenshin, even though I failed I passed it, then I failed it. It will get picked. And then number 1, supposedly to Mason's chagrin, although I have no idea if he even cares.
Number 1.
An overwhelming 48% of respondents selected Reborn as a Vending Machine, a.k.a. big titties anime, whatever, big blonde girl titties. I don't know. That's all I remember
big
about
jugs.
that. Big jugs, yeah. Don't I have like a drop here about big titties somewhere in here? I really need to here we go. I really need to alphabetize the drops on here. I think I'd be able to find them a lot easier. So, all right, guys, what are we doing today on the podcast? I'll give you a little clue. It was mentioned on Reddit not that long ago that all anime characters are actually cats, and thus all anime fans are furries. So we will be discussing this in a haphazard topic that I have called Japanese anime characters are cat. What did you say? I just heard the word pussy, but I have no idea what she said.
Rank my pussy.
Rank my pussy. There you go. And in a afterthought, we will be reviewing Mashle, the Harry Potter ripoff, for lack of a better word. I can't think of any other way to describe that. So, without further ado, let's get to the big news of the week.
It's time for big news of the week.
A new AI program claims to let even beginners make high-quality anime characters. So this is it, guys. I don't know that this podcast will be around by the time this is prevalent, so it may not matter, but I'm just gonna say that we are in the era of anime no longer being made by humans, and it's probably gonna be not long from now. So if you look on the Twitch, I have posted an image that on the far left image, they basically have, for lack of a better word, character drawings that like a 5-year-old could do. They look like scribbles with pencil. And literally, just with the touch of AI, the AI can take a ridiculously crude drawing of just stick figure level and turn it into basically something that's passable for an anime character in a show. Researchers at the Japan Institute of Science and Technology, or JAST, and the Waseda University announced their new AI project, Annie Face Drawing, which aims to assist even those with no artistic talent to create high-quality anime character portraits. The use of the program is fairly straightforward. You draw on the leftmost panel of the screen, and the AI extrapolates the rest of the character line art and coloring into 2 panels of varying amounts of detail. If you don't like what you get, you can simply just adjust the eyes or the mouth shape, and it will automatically redraw those bits for you. allowing even people with absolutely no training or skill whatsoever in creating anime characters to literally draw character art. It's pretty shocking. Do you guys? I have the image up on the document and on the Twitch. Do you guys have any comments about this?
I will no longer watch anime once it is not something touched by human hands. I just don't like the thought of it not being that. It's just not art to me anymore. So then what's the point?
You feel the same way, Caroline?
I mean, of course. Though, when you see a bunch of garbage anime that have been dime a dozen, all the characters look the same, and they look the same as in completely different show with no regards of creativity or whatsoever, it doesn't really feel much like art sometimes. I mean, in certain yeah, but like of course in like certain certain shows, you're like, holy crap, like look at this show, this is something special, like this is art.
Definitely
and
agree.
You see some other shows and you're like, well, this is just garbage. So I feel like that's probably going to be the garbage anime that we watch. Like it's not going to get like as much attention as something like Ghibli.
But then what is the point? Like I don't watch anything that I feel was run through an AI machine and is just like every other anime already. So why would we add more to that pile of just mindless bullshit? Like, why don't we just make real art? Why can't we make
Pancake.
a real story anymore? We don't need to be force-fed like just a bunch of garbage all the time. Like, give us something real. Give us something to think about. If you want to be mindless, go fucking scroll on TikTok.
So you think that? So Caroline, you think that it's only going to be applied to some anime?
No, I think well, money talks. I think if people can see the use in it, they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
That being said, I think if they have not done it already, this is the time for animators to unionize, because there's no way like eventually their jobs are going to be at stake. That is for certain.
The problem with unionization, and I'm not an expert on this, but I know a few things, is that usually when unions strike, the industry needs the people that are on strike. That's the point. Like they will, that's why you hear about people donating money to the families of people that are on strike, and then the companies will bring in quote-unquote scabs to work in place of those people, and the scabs are always getting like shit thrown at them when they try to cross the picket line, and that's why they have picket lines. But if they have AI that can just straight up fucking do the anime, then like they don't even need the people. They'll just be like, okay, you're gonna go on strike. Who gives a fuck? Like goodbye.
But
artists now need to put in place in their contract somewhere that they cannot use any of their work to train AI. Like that's what the artists need to do to protect themselves at this point, is to have a contract like that.
And also, like right now, they're somewhat safe. Like you can't see, like AI is not making animation from what I've seen. They're making these images, and whatever animation they could possibly make, it's gonna suck. Like really bad CGI type of animation that nobody's gonna like. So at this time, I think it's something that they need to like. I act as if I'm a professional and I know all these things.
Yeah,
but don't you? But you are.
I'm a professional talker. In my opinion, this would be a decent time to like start these kinds of movements in developments.
Yeah, I think now is the time for artists to protect themselves and people to protect themselves before all of their work is used to train AI.
So, yeah, I mean, I actually have a darker viewpoint on this. I mean, a couple people on the Twitch have made comments about how AI doesn't look very good right now. Although I would say that these drawings that they sampled in this study don't look horrific. I mean,
I could see this in an anime coming out this season. It doesn't look like amazing, but it's passable.
But in 10 years, I think we're like 5 to 10 years off. The reality is that a lot of companies are on the stock market now that are AI companies, and they're selling this technology to other industries. And so this is going to quickly develop. And it might be that, and I hate to be super, doom and gloom, but it might be that the AI can't make characters that are comparable to like Kyoto Animation level stuff now, but 5 to 10 years from now, I would be shocked if they weren't able to. Think about something like the iPhone. 10 years ago, the iPhone barely existed. And now the iPhone is used for absolutely every single square inch of everything in your life, from ordering pizza to ordering your groceries to checking in at an airport with your tickets, to finding your way home after a concert. It's every single thing in your life has literally been adopted by cell phones within 10 years. And in 10 more years, or even sooner, you could see the same thing with AI. And unfortunately, this will be incentivized by the fact that companies, as you say, Caroline, money talks. And even for these poor animators that are currently generally abused by low salaries and just terrible working conditions, as we've talked about a bunch of times, even as little as they're paid, production committees and studios will eliminate them if they think they can be replaced by AI. And that's going to go for all industries. I'm fairly sure like 5 years from now, call centers aren't going to exist at all. Every single person that worked in a call center is done. Forget it. Like, you're pretty much replaced. I'm actually shocked we still have people working at like 7-Elevens and stuff, honestly, because, I mean, what do they do exactly? Just scan an item? So there's all these jobs that are going to get uprooted. The interesting question is, do people even give a fuck? Like, it seems like the animator jobs are so terrible that anybody listening, if you've ever been fired from a job or laid off, like maybe I should say, sometimes when you get laid off from a job, it's like the best thing that's ever happened to you. You end up going someplace different, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize how much better it could be in my life.
Respect is here. It's actually exists.
Yeah, like work-life balance is back. Like, some of these people might find that, oh, I lost my job as like an in-between animator because AI is doing it, but but like their lives, these jobs are terrible for people anyway. So, I mean, I don't want anime to be made by computers, because to me it was all about the artistry, and I don't even like the fact that it's not done with cells anymore. So like, we're way past that. But at the same time, will it really be that terrible if a person can't work their like $11,000 a year job, because that job's already predatory? Anything you guys want to add about that?
No, I mean, this is something that has to be watched over the next couple of years. It's so new,
And
Do you guys...
AI frightened. Everything that comes out about AI developments, I'm like, we are one step closer to the world just imploding.
Yeah, I don't like anything to do with AI, so I'm not the best person to have a conversation with about it. I feel like it's just not a good thing for us.
I actually think most people don't like AI because it's just scary and it's too unknown and too abusable. It's just a conversation about how it's going to shape.
The AI filters on TikTok, like, they love them. Like, you take a picture of yourself and you can be transformed
then you're hot
into an anime girl, or what you would look like in the 1600s. That's a real thing that people use all the time on TikTok.
Not to get off.
This is cool, but also frightening.
Not to get off topic, but like so we're gonna listen to a clip from this guy whose name is I wrote his name down. Asmongold on YouTube. He's pretty popular. We'll credit him in a minute, but he has a video where he's showing some images of like anime girls that AI has generated, and they look almost human, even though they have like, I would say, hint of anime in their style. But this is off topic, but we're heading down a dark path in the future here. I mean, these chicks that AI is creating are so unbelievably hot that there's no living human that can compare to these people. And if these AI are able to bring them to life with voices and movement, you're going to have millions of people that are in love with AI characters that are so much more attractive than real life people that like nobody can possibly compare. And that's going to go for men and women. So I don't know. I get very scared because I see a few.
Too now. People love their body pillows, Mitsugi.
Oh, but I mean, this is
something completely different.
But imagine if she can call you on the phone and you can talk to her all night, and a computer and you're paying $5 a month to have a computer just generate all this for you. I mean, the birth rate will collapse in the world. It
makes me feel icky.
It's really getting to a scary point, and I could bring up some of these images, but it's yeah. The last question I have about this, and it's going long, is do you guys feel like this is a thing that could take over manga creation as well?
Yes.
Because if it can draw,
they already have those AI generators making new stories. Like people just type in parameters and they create whole new stories. So it's certainly possible. If animation being done through AI is possible, then absolutely.
my thought was that if an AI can take a shitty little drawing and make a real full colored anime character, surely they can do a black and white drawing that's not nearly as detailed. I mean, I actually think the manga creators are actually at more risk than the animators are.
Yeah, I think that could come first.
It's really, really sad and it's kind of scary. But anyway, that's I kind of want to call the Waseda University and be like, why don't you just pump the brakes like on this? Like, this is gonna fuck the world up. So I don't want to live in.
So like, there's potential for AI and all sorts of really good things. Like, there's a possibility that AI would be what cures cancer.
I think, yeah, you're not wrong, but I just think that every industry that has low-level work that is automatable will be replaced within 20 years. And there are comments on Twitch like, we'll just invent new jobs. But the reality is that I don't know that you're going to be able to invent enough new jobs to replace the displacement that gets caused by AI.
But at the same time, the same thing happened in the 90s with computers. Like, everyone made the same kind of comments. Like, there's no way that we would... Like, people are going to lose their jobs. They're not going to create jobs to give these people positions after this. And yet, here we are 20 years later doing pretty okay.
You might be right.
Not fantastic, but it's the cycle.
You might be right. The difference there is that you still had to have people operate the computers. And now we're talking about quote-unquote living organisms that are actually just computers that take over the use of the computers that the humans used to do. We made computers for humans to use, but now we're making AI to take over for the humans to use the same computers. I don't know, it's scary, but let's move on. I'm sure we'll be talking about this more in the years to come because I know this isn't going away. So, Caroline, what is your big news of the week?
Okay, I am going to sound like a broken record because I've talked about this for going on 3 weeks now. But since it has been a trend and I don't know what else to talk about, Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead Anime Episode 6 delayed by 1 week to August 27th. So if you are a big fan of the show, you're going to have to wait for Episode 6 a little while. But it doesn't seem like this is due to more production issues. It's actually just a case of bad luck, perhaps, because the 2023 World Athletics Championships will instead air on August 20th in Japan. So I guess the premiere of the episode got bumped because of the championships. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, it has been happening in the last couple weeks. The 5th episode was delayed by 1 week, and a special program had aired in its place when it was supposed to be. And the 4th episode, which aired in Japan on July 30th, was delayed to July 31st on some streaming services due to production circumstances. So, just strange things, but at least it seems like it's not completely like, at least the production is not completely breaking down, and this isn't necessarily a sign that it is. It's just bad luck.
We just watched the first episode of this anime, and it was pretty good.
It was okay. I mean, I'm definitely interested in it.
The best anime of the season is Jobless Reincarnation. I'm 100% sure.
Really?
It's not even close.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I've heard that it hasn't been as good.
They're wrong.
Shut up.
Whoever you heard that from, they're wrong.
We ate that shit up within
my God, it was
within
good.
12 hours.
Yeah.
We were like,
yeah, it's better than season 2.
we watched 3 episodes in one night, and then we watched 2 more the next morning.
I think it's only 3. Wait, there's only 3 out. How many mimosas have you had?
There was episode 0.
Can you count to 5?
Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and episode 4.
Oh yeah, they have like episode 0 is like an hour long or whatever. But yeah, Jobless Reincarnation is fucking good. It's so crazy. But Zom 100 was fun. I've only watched 1 episode, so I'm looking forward to seeing.
I feel like your reactions are a little muted compared.
I mean, it's just I'm a little tired of hearing about like the abused salary worker in Japan like story. It's like, come on, I've heard this fucking 500 times.
I don't know. It's good though. It
is good. It's fun.
It's just when I'm watching Jobless Reincarnation, I was telling Mitz this when we were watching it again. I could just watch them go through their lives just because the world they're in is so rich, and it really does what anime is supposed to do and transports you out of your everyday life. You don't have to think about all the bullshit going on.
It touches on so many adult things too. Like Rudius can't. I mean, I'll just put it how it is. He can't get it up because he's stuck on Eris or whatever, who walked out on him, and so he's in like episode.
Dude,
in episode 2 or whatever, he's got this girl who like wants him, and they're in like getting ready to have sex, and he undresses her, and then like he can't do it, and it's because he's just got mental problems because of Eris, but like they really are hitting on like adult topics, and it's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, I think we should do what we used to do with the Dr. Stone.
Yeah, Dr. Stone is sliding downhill hard.
I think people would like that.
Yeah, Dr. Stone is devolving into just like silly nonsense. It's just kind of sad.
Should I even continue? Like, I just have barely any time to continue shows I like, so I
mean,
was back and forth between when I should start that.
You might like it. I don't know.
It's fine. It's very mindless anime watching in this season. It almost is going to feel like this might be a season you could skip entirely to go to the next.
It's starting to feel like an anime.
A filler. It's very fillery.
Yeah, see, I think it's turning into an anime that feels like it's made for like 10-year-olds, which is
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's heading into like the goofy, silly stuff, and has gotten away from like the inventing. But anyway, guys, so main topic today. That was fun. That was a good big news of the week. So
good discussion.
If you guys want to hit us up about AI or any of these topics, there's always the Discord, AAAdiscord.com. So there is a podcast discussion section on there, so you can chime in if you want, and pretty non-judgmental community for the most part. So anyway, let me see if I can pull this off here without fucking it up. There is a so we're going to talk about this on our hentai episode too. So we're going to talk about how anime has tainted its viewers into being in hentai terms fetishized perverts. So we'll talk about that. Are cat girls the gateway drug that led to other animal girls that we sexualize? And we're going to have a to do or not to do hottest cat girls list on the hentai episode. So if you want to get that, you can go to AAAdiscord.com/join our Patreon. But when we were in Cozumel having our 1-year wedding anniversary, a little high five.
High five.
There was a video. I don't know. I'm like on mic
fist
right now.
Bump.
Fist bump. Yeah, give me a fist bump.
Hell yeah. 1
pee-pee
year.
Bump. Pee-pee
Congrats,
bump.
babe.
Pee-pee bump.
There was a so this comes from two people. So originally this was from Reddit by Sadahiko Hantani. I think I read that down correctly. And then the audio clip is from Osmongold TV on YouTube. So there was a clip about, and I have I'm gonna try to get this. I'm not good at OBS, but I'm gonna try my best here with this. So there was a Reddit thing about why all Japanese anime characters look like cats. So I'm going to play this clip right now. I just gave the credits, so here, I'm going to just listen.
Why in Japanese anime do none of the characters look Japanese? Because anime characters are cats. The goal of manga anime was neither Japanese nor Caucasian. The theory on if you pursue cute, it resembles a kitten is influential. No matter how you look at the profile nose, it's not human. Japanese anime characters are cats, not Westerners. So does that mean everybody that likes anime is a furry? Okay, well, that settles it.
So
you're definitely a furry.
There are some images. Me?
Oh yeah, you're a huge furry. Like your alter ego is like a panda or some shit. It's real weird.
So the image I'm sharing on Twitch right now, it's pretty hard to deny the movement of like the transition from a cat's face into an anime character. I mean, you really can't deny it at this point. I mean, just looking at these pictures. Do you guys have any like thoughts on this, like right off the bat? I mean, is this at all shocking to you? I was a little surprised, honestly, but then again, kind of not surprised.
No, I mean,
I saw the video on when it was shared on Discord, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense with like the nose in particular.
Yeah, the nose and the eyes.
That's what really brings it home, is the nose shape, I think.
Yeah, I am fully subscribed to this, especially in this anime style. Maybe some anime don't fall under this category. Like Dragon Ball, I don't think falls under the cat category.
But
when you have...
For sure.
But when you have like mainstream run-of-the-mill anime, that is a cat.
Well, if you think about it, and I find this topic fascinating because it delves into so many other topics of human psychology. Like you may not realize that you want to bang your pet cat, but the reality is that maybe you do.
Whoa.
Well, so
as a joke, I think it's very
sort of
funny that, like, wait a minute, so we're all furries? That is a good joke.
Yeah.
Well, sort of
I
as
think there is a distinct difference between finding something sexually arousing and cute. Like,
So-
I think of a lot of anime characters as very, very cute, but not necessarily sexually arousing.
You are in the minority.
You are wrong, and I will.
I'm sure there are many, but I feel like there is a big difference.
Well, I will say that you. Oh, wait a second.
Nyan.
Every time someone on the Twitch says "nyan," I'm gonna play a nyan clip.
No, you should nyan.
Maybe
Like
you
on the
should.
Twitch, like there's a side-by-side between a cat
Wait.
and the girl from K-On! I forget her name.
Hold on.
But I don't find that girl from K-On! To be like, holy shit.
Do you have some shit you want to say?
She's not. She
Yeah.
looks like a child. She looks adorable.
We all need to
That's the
nyan.
difference.
Caroline, what is your
Nya
nyan?
nya nya
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
That's some weak shit right there.
Say it with your chest, bitch. Nyan.
Nyan. So,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure where this discussion topic is going, but we are going to classify some anime characters into
I'm
like
excited.
cat
This is
archetypes.
actually pretty fun.
This is
But-
gonna be so much fun.
But if you think about it, this isn't far fetched at all because anime there are already something like I'd say 10% of every anime characters are basically anthropomorphized animals. So I would wager that somewhere between 5 and 10% of all characters in anime are actually animal girls or boys of some kind. So they've been making cat girls for a long time. And now you find wolf girls, dog girls, cow girls, insect women, all this shit. And it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It all begins somewhere. And if they're already taking cat faces and morphing them into anime characters, it's not much of a stretch to just add cat ears and a tail to those characters and say, well, we're just going to take it one step further. And before you know it, you got characters like the Monogatari white-haired fucking cat girl fucking character, whoever that is, who's just like hyper-sexualized. And before you know it, boom, 10 years of that as an anime viewer, and suddenly you got your girlfriend like crawling around in the bedroom drinking milk out of a saucer. You know, like I really don't think that this is far off. And if you go online, you can find cattail. I'm trying to keep it PG-13, but there are plenty of sex toys that are cat related out there. And I just wonder if like anime has been slowly polluting the minds of its viewers to the point where before you even realize it, you're like, fuck me, I like cat girls. I mean, that's where I am. So, you know.
But I want to, like, let's say we're going to test this. And Mitsugi, you will be our subject.
Please.
And I find 10 random cat girls. Like, I look up, like, cat
Sure.
girls in anime. I find 10 random pictures.
Yeah.
And I show you one picture.
Go ahead.
And I say, sexy or cute.
Yeah,
You have
go
to
ahead.
say one thing.
Bring it on.
Wait,
But I
Caroline.
don't have those pictures on hand, so it's going to take some time.
Caroline, listen. I know you said that things are sexy, and you don't want to fuck cute things. But,
I do.
But listen,
Okay, sorry.
men are not wired that way.
Men are horny.
Why do you
What?
think there's such a big thing with lolicon?
I know.
I'm
But
just
Oh,
I'm
you're
saying.
touching dangerous
like-
water.
I'm just
He's like-
saying.
The typical male is Mitsugi. We'll say this. And yes, he has said some very gross.
How dare you?
But you enjoyed Reincarnated as a Sword, and you liked Fran.
I
But
would not have
can't
fucked Fran though.
imagine-
But Fran is too
I
young.
can imagine you saying that because
But-
she's too cute. She's not cute, or she's not sexy. She's cute, and a lot of cat girls are not necessarily grown-ass women characters. Like,
Yeah.
well, Raftalia is not a cat, but like Raftalia would be an example. Like,
I would take
of when I
Raftalia
looked
for
like a
sure.
woman.
I'm just saying
know
that
But most cat girls are
Yeah.
quite young looking.
they are, and like, it's a really weird thing. Men,
I have
Ha-
way too much trust in men, I think.
you have too much trust in men, and the thing is, is when you look feminine, you look cute, and they're still gonna want to fuck you. You can be dressing sexy, and they're still gonna want to fuck you. You can be wearing your grandma's
the mimosa
muumuu,
talking.
and they're still gonna want to fuck you. It does not matter.
Did you say muumuu?
Yeah, you know those old ass fucking gowns?
I've never heard it called a muumuu. What the fuck?
It's fine.
Is that some garlic snapper talk right there?
Maybe.
Pancake's very Italian, so yeah.
Men are gonna fuck you no matter what you're wearing, what you look like. You could be cute, you could be sexy. Men are
This
still
is
gonna
off topic.
fuck you.
What are you guys even
it's the
talking
same
about?
thing.
No, I'm just talking about. Are all anime fans furries without even knowing it? Yes or no?
No.
I think given enough.
Seriously, I don't think so, but as a joke, yes.
I think given enough time with anime, the answer is yes.
They're not furries. They're furry adjacent.
Because here's the reason. Because they're gonna take a character that is stacked as fuck hot. You know, I don't know. Pick your favorite. I don't fucking know. It could be anything. It could be even even a character like Marin just dressing up like a cat. So suddenly you got Marin, who's fucking
You guys
hot.
love that.
Yeah, of course. You got Marin, who's hot, and then they put cat ears and a tail on it. And I'm not saying that you want to go downstairs and like bang your fucking tabby cat, but I am saying that there are dudes that would dress their girlfriends up like cats and and enjoy that. I'm just saying that it's very interesting.
Looking at you, Pancake, with the cat ears at this moment.
No, I'm going to be taking these off and burning them after this, okay?
You'll be wearing them at about 10:30 tonight.
No! Ew!
Oh my god!
Ew!
Oh my god!
Get out! Go into timeout!
Get out!
Shame!
Oh, God.
Listen.
That's a bingo.
Ew! Listen, there's a big difference between somebody that is going to go online and look up furries and find a wolf anthropomorphized.
Holo. That
No,
would
shut up.
definitely
I'm
take Holo.
talking.
How many
And-
mimosas have you had?
I don't
You're
know.
getting belligerent.
No, I just want to
Pancake, you
finish.
should go on strike. Go on strike.
Okay, finish your point, and then we'll move on to the picking
There's a
here.
difference between people that are looking up cat girls and people looking up anthro wolf guys with their red rocket out, or like a full ass like cat looking person but with like human tits and a pussy. Okay? There's a big difference. That's why I say anime fans are furry adjacent.
You gotta talk into the mic. You have to look straight into the
Furry
mic
adjacent.
without screaming. If you look at the floor next to the mic, the sound doesn't go in the mic. You gotta talk into the
Are you
mic.
trying to go right now?
Well, I can't adjust the volume in only 2 seconds. It's all or nothing.
Okay.
Unless you want me editing audio until like 11 o'clock on Thursday. Caroline, do you have any closing thoughts on
Do
this
it.
before we move
Pancake,
on?
He said something rude. Do it.
No, I just need Pancake to talk into the mic. Closing thoughts on this?
So, anime fans are not furries. I'll say they're not.
Well, they are.
Furry
They just think
adjacent.
the characters are cute.
Have you
I'd
ever
like
been
to
to a...
believe.
Can I ask you a
I
question?
would like to believe that the general anime fan is not so disgusting.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you ever been to an anime con?
I've been to one.
I mean, did you take stock of how many characters walk around with like cat ears and shit on?
I could barely see 2 feet in front of me because there's too many people.
Oh, because it's a lot of people. I mean, a lot.
I'm sure there is.
A
Yeah.
lot of people. So I'm not saying all anime fans are furries in the sense that like, and by the way, whatever, you do whatever you want, but you know,
Yeah, different strokes for different folks.
I've seen all sorts of shit like lately. I see people running around on all fours in the woods and all this. Like, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just saying that. Spend more time on. Listen, if you were married to Pancake and you were looking at Instagram Reels for 6 hours a day, you would definitely see all sorts of crazy shit. But there's definitely people running around on all fours in their front yard, learning how to like jump over barrels and crap. So you do whatever you want. I don't really care. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, anime watching so many attractive feline-like anime characters, whether they're literally given tails and ears or not, or if the designs just look feline by the noses and the eyes and the mouths and whatever, you are slowly associating sexual objects in anime with feline characteristics, and whether you realize it or not, you are slowly developing a fetish that will take root eventually. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're going to put a mask on, like a suit on, and go bang the fucking Denver Nuggets mascot or whatever. But someday you might think that it's hot to put like cat contacts on your fucking wife and have her wear a cattail, or something, and you might find that attractive. And I'm just saying that might be because you have been exposed to sexualized characters that seem like cats that you have been watching for years. It's brainwashing. I mean, really. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it's probably happening. Anything on that?
For a second there, you sounded like one of those political radio shows my dad listens
Yes,
to.
yes. You sound like an old person radio show.
I am old. I'm 38.
Except the topic is anime girls looking like cats and whether or not people are turning into furries, which I find is hilarious.
I will say that even though this turned into a sexual topic because it's me, I will say that all they tried to do is make anime characters cute, and they said, what is the cutest animal? And they go, oh, a cat. So they just made all the anime girls look like cats because they just want to have like impossibly cute-looking humans in their anime. And
Mako's
and that's
really
fine.
cute.
Let's go on to this topic here that we have here. We're going to go long on this topic, and that's fine because
Who cares?
I don't think the review of Mashle is going to be all that long, but... so I wrote down some archetypes here of cats that maybe people have in their homes that they can relate to, and then everybody except Pancake, because she didn't know she was supposed to, wrote down an anime character that we think associates with these characters. So you can come up with it off the top of your head, Pancake. But so the first one,
God.
the first one is if you can't, that's fine. Well, we'll let you go last so you have time to think. The first one is the overly friendly, dumb orange cats. The cat. For some reason, orange cats
5 brain cells.
often seem like they're males, and they are often extremely friendly, more than they need to be. So I went with Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
That's what I was thinking at first too. Except sometimes he's not too dumb, but go ahead.
Well, Tanjiro is just like this overly friendly, like I'll do anything for you, whatever. Even if it like destroys my life, if it just helps you for 5 minutes, I'll do it character, which is honestly ridiculous, but. Then again, orange tabby cats would probably like climb in like their neighbor's car, never to see their real owners again.
How about I raise you a Denji?
Denji?
Yeah.
Who the hell is that? Oh, from Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Talk about a
that's not
fucking
bad.
orange tabby. He's about
See,
as
you can do this.
He's not like friendly. He's like a little uncomfortable as a person to be too friendly.
No, he's friendly. He's just like really like stupid. Like he's a tabby that had its brain like head operated on. You took the brain out and set it back out in the wild.
Speaking of Chainsaw Man, isn't there a shot of Power like crawling around like a fucking animal in the opening video of that anime?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Well, then,
Hinata
I wonder
from
why that
Haikyuu,
happened.
Yes.
No,
I
like,
wonder why that is.
But back to Tanjiro, because literally that was my first thought was Tanjiro, mainly because of the one thing in the Mugen Train movie, because that one demon like went inside his dreams or something to find his subconscious, and by finding the subconscious he could kill Tanjiro. But literally Tanjiro no sorry too much whiskey. Tanjiro's
Or no, how much? Show me your glass. Show me your glass. Show the glass, Caroline. Show the.
Just
Here you go.
do it!
Oh, you got a whole bunch left
Come
in there.
on.
Oh, what a bunch of weak
I had
shit.
quite a bit in there. But okay,
That's fair.
Tanjiro's subconscious literally leads the demon to his core that will kill him just because he's just so nice. That is ridiculous.
Okay.
Tanjiro, you're so fucking dumb.
Well, he is dumb. There's no doubt about that.
Another
But
character
other
that would
times he's
fall
not
into
as
this is Gon from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's orange cat as
Goku,
hell.
Goku too.
Yep.
They're like, oh, I want to be your friend, but I'm stupid. It's just like, oh my
Hi,
God.
I'm friendly.
By the way,
The one that
Caroline's
I
a bit of
actually did right.
Caroline's a bit of a badass. She's just straight drinking like straight whiskey over there.
I know. She's like pancakes.
It's cookie dough. It's very tasty.
Caroline's there in her like put together suit and her like fucking Louis Vuitton fucking I don't know bag and shit.
You have a Louis Vuitton bag?
No, I
All
don't.
black.
The best
She's got
I
her
have
hair
is a
back
pink
in a
fade.
slicked back bun. She's got glasses on. She's drinking her whiskey by
God.
herself. And then my dumbass is wearing a sundress on a Sunday, drinking thing of mimosas.
You're in your fucking panties right now, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not. I'm wearing shorts.
Oh, they look like panties. All right, moving on. Cats.
I didn't even give my answer.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You didn't. Well, do it already.
The one I actually wrote down was Takeda from my Clueless First Friend. Probably because I watched it recently, but also because Takeda is like the epitome of the very friendly person that's not all that, is not all there. Because throughout this entire show, he's like, oh my gosh, you're such a cool person. But literally, this girl's like being shunned for being like kind of gloomy. So they call her like, you know, the god of death or something like that. And she's like, wow, you're the god of death? That's so fucking cool. And meanwhile, he's like bringing up the very thing that she's insensitive, she's sensitive about. So it's like you're being so nice, but you're also being so dumb because you're trying to be nice, but you're actually being kind of rude. And that's my answer.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for jumping the gun. So the next one was cats that stare at nothing up by your ceiling. You ever have cats that just like stare? You're like, what the fuck are you looking at? And we have a cat that does this all the time. So the obvious choice for me was Osaka from Azumanga Daioh, because there's literally a section where she's like looking around the room and she's looking at the black little floaters in her eyes. You guys ever see this? You guys have floaters in your eyes? Like you can see it if you really, really concentrate. You can find them.
Fuko from Clannad.
Oh, Fuko, that's not bad. Fuko me, Fuko you. Nyan nyan.
Nyan, nyan, nyan.
Oh shit.
The answer I put down was Mash from Mashle, just because he's like the kind of character that is so kind of bland and not very reactive to things that he would just like not take attention of anything else except for like what's on the ceiling. So he probably would just like stare up at the ceiling for minutes on end, not really saying anything or doing anything.
Mash. What a fucking stupid ass.
Wait, Mashle from the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100% this fucking cat.
He's like if Mo from the Three Stooges started taking roids.
Dude. I didn't watch all of it, so I'm not.
You didn't watch shit of it. You watched like one episode.
I watched like 5.
Bullshit.
Because I watched the first 3 with you.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm so sorry.
And then everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not doing like the review because I hadn't seen all of it. But that shit was cracking me up the other night because it is so fucking dumb.
It's so dumb. All right.
Anyway.
All right, let's go to the next one. I got fat chonker cats. So everybody's got a chonker. Everybody knows the fat like roly poly that like got.
So friendly, so just nice.
And by the way, people, if you own a cat that weighs like 30 pounds,
get him on a diet.
that is your fucking fault. You should not let your cat get that heavy. Put your cat on a diet. Get an automatic feeder and just set the number correctly. Like it's easy. You know, if your cat needs less food, just adjust the amount. But so my fat chonker cat is Majin Buu. I mean that motherfucker. All he does is eat chocolate and shit. That anime from Dragon Ball
gosh,
Z.
Hold on, I have to think about this one.
Oh really?
Any more you want to say about that, Mitch?
I don't know. Majin Buu, just everything about him is food. I mean, even like in Dragon Ball Z, he literally turns half the planet into like candy and eats them all. And in Dragon Ball Super, when Buu does appear, which is pretty rare, but when he does, it's always like him eating fucking a whole dinner table worth of food. He's also like literally a doughboy, a pink doughboy that like if he had a human equivalent weight, he probably weighs like 500 pounds. So I don't know. He's just I don't know. Pretty easy pick.
No face.
No face. Oh well, he does eat a lot of
He
shit.
eats a lot of shit. He eats everything. And everybody.
My answer is Nikaido from March Comes in Like a Lion. Yeah, he is like a little thick, but they also like use a lot of sound effects that kind of make him sound like very cute and soft and plushy, I guess. And his nickname in the show is literally Totoro, so it makes sense.
That's funny.
Totoro would actually be another good one.
Totoro doesn't eat anything in that
Yeah,
anime.
but he looks like
It
a
doesn't really
chonker
matter
cat.
if he doesn't eat. Like, eating is not the main
He
factor
looks
here.
like
It's
a
just, you gotta be
cat bus.
flush. You gotta be, yeah.
Show some fucking respect. He's the king of the forest.
He's so cute though.
He is cute.
I just want to lay on his big chonky belly.
I watched an anime recently where they ripped off that whole scene from Totoro where Mei lands on his stomach and he's sleeping. Fuck, what anime was that? Somebody from the Twitch will know. The next one was, did you give yours, Caroline?
Snorlax.
Yes.
Yeah, Nikaido.
That's why we're talking about Totoro, is because I mentioned March comes in like a lion. Anyway, moving on.
Crazy zoomer cat that speeds through your house randomly. Then it just takes off and acts like a psycho for about 2 minutes. Which we have a cat that every morning just like decides I'm just gonna. I literally had this cat. Here's a story. So we've been making homemade pizzas because people that don't know, homemade pizzas are better and they cost like 10% of a fucking store-bought pizza, and they're honestly 3 times as tasty. So I had a plate that I was eating in bed, and then I put the plate on this piano bench that's near my bed, and the fucking cat in the middle of the night just decides he's gonna just run through the room. He runs through the room, jumps up onto the piano bench, but he doesn't jump onto it. He just uses that as a springboard, knocks the piano bench over, and slams this plate into the wall and just shatters this plate in the middle of the night. Like, that's what we're dealing with.
That would be terrifying to wake
Fucking
up
mad,
to.
man. My pick was Mako Mankanshoku from Kill la Kill.
Is your cat named after this one?
Well, our cat?
Yeah.
Our cat is named after a Mako reactor from
Which
Final
number?
Fantasy VII. I don't know, whichever one they blow up in the beginning.
Which is that?
I'm not sure.
Is it 8?
Oh man, I'm not sure. I'd look that up. But yeah, I don't like Mako Mankanshoku because she's too fucking hyper. But she's a great pick for a character that just acts like a fucking crackhead for 3 minutes in an episode before vanishing until the next time she needs to be comic relief. So I'll look that up about Final Fantasy VII.
My choice was Inosuke from Demon Slayer because he literally is insane and just does crazy stuff the entire time he's on screen. So I feel like that was a very obvious one. Although I did initially think about Zenitsu just because of the times that he's asleep and he, goes around and dashes and slices, and yeah, that is kind of zoomer of him, but he, for the most part, it's just annoying. So Inosuke's a better choice for this one.
It's reactor number 1, by the way.
Number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Seems too obvious, but yeah.
So that's what we named our cat after.
Yeah.
That's really lame.
Why? It's awesome.
It's number 1. It couldn't have been like a different number.
Drink your mimosas and be quiet. Did you have a pick for this one?
I don't, but there's a great one which makes a lot of sense. Naruto, the hyperactive ninja.
He is pretty hyper.
So that's a good one. I would also say Honey Senpai from High School Host Club.
Do you think anybody in the world has watched more Naruto than you have?
No.
You're a Narutard. Do you know
I
that?
am a Narutard.
How does it make you feel?
I fucking love Naruto.
How do you feel that you can't remember half of your childhood memories because you've replaced all of that database in your brain with Naruto shit?
Look, some of the best times of my life were watching Toonami with my little brother every Saturday.
I cried when Zabuza died. Is that you?
That's very sad.
Didn't you know some obscure fucking trivia about Zabuza? I asked someone, fucking Chitin asked me to ask you, and you knew the answer, and I was like, my wife's a weeb. My wife's a fucking Narutard. Oh my god. Did you give your answer yet? Oh, you did. Inosuke?
Yes!
Yeah, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yes, I did.
Cats constantly sunbathing. So I took this as like characters that just love themselves a lot, like they're just like self-indulging all the time. And so for me, I picked Asuka Langley from Ava because she's such a self-absorbed prick the whole show. And man, Shinji just should have given it to her. She fucking
Light Yagami.
light. Oh, okay. Power hungry.
See, I took a very different opinion on what this would mean, like cat constantly sunbathing. I would just think of someone that's very relaxed, could like lay around on the ground and just fall asleep and stay there for hours. And my initial thought was Tsuyuri from Love, Shunibyo, and Other Delusions, because she is the sleepiest girl around, and she just finds a spot, she naps, and she's very happy and chillax. That, I thought, made more sense.
Okay, so if we're going to go that route, let me think.
Come on. Downloading. Thought. Do I have a drop for this?
Like a Jeopardy?
I'm trying to think while Pancake's thinking, because it's clearly not going well.
Too much.
You got this.
Helps, yes.
You got this. She's drank almost an entire carafe of mimosas.
Oh, Pancake.
Senku.
No, not Senku.
Senku?
Shikamaru.
Oh!
Naruto.
There you go. That's a great one.
Wow.
I'm a dumb fucking bitch today.
Caroline knows more about Naruto than you do.
No, I
Yes,
don't.
that's a great idea.
That's
I
fucking
should.
sad. You spent half your life watching Naruto, and Caroline still knows more than you do, and I don't think Caroline spent that much time.
You know what's really sad?
You wasted your whole life.
Listen, Naruto is 20 years old. How old am I?
You're
27.
my age, I think.
So how much of my life have I spent watching Naruto?
I don't know. Probably not that much in reality. 0.5%. Not even 0.5%.
But anyway, yeah, I should just use. I'm just gonna use Naruto characters till the end because that'll be easier for me to think.
Great. Yes, I love that idea.
All right. Cats that act like they like you, but then scratch the fuck out of you randomly. Everybody's had
Gara.
that. Everybody's seen that cat. We pick it up and it like loves it for about 10 seconds, and then it just bites the shit out of you for no reason.
Does
Gaara and
really act like
Kakashi.
he loves you at all? I mean, he loves Naruto, and we know that. But like, does he act like he loves anyone otherwise?
Plants. And like his siblings. He's a very caring person.
Jesus. Why don't you fucking marry him?
That's a drawing.
He could.
Well, so what? There's like 40 million anime fans
Adult
with their dicks
Gaara,
out right
though,
now to
adult
drawings.
Gaara, what a downgrade! Like, come on, the hair is terrible.
He does have a big ass forehead. I ain't gonna lie.
Why did they give him this side part, like slicked back?
Because
thing?
he's balding and he needs a good woman to tell him to shave it. Listen,
Not
anybody
exactly.
out there that's balding, just shave it. You're way sexier after you shave it.
That's right. Take it from me. I picked
right, move on.
I picked Yoko Tia Noto from Bastard, who's the redheaded girl, because particularly in this latest season of Bastard, she's very waffly. Like she literally almost gets seduced by Dark Schneider in like a hot spring, and then decides she's just gonna punch him in the head. And man, Yoko Tia Noto, she's fucking hot.
She's very pretty.
She's well, we'll save it for the hentai episode. But yeah, that's definitely a character that is like, oh my god, I love you, Dark Schneider. I want to suck on you, and then she's like punch you in the fucking throat and kill you. She's that character.
So, I mean, when I was thinking about this question, initially I'm thinking about all these different tsunderes, but it takes a very particular type of tsundere because they have to like you for the most part, but then hate
Haruhi.
you. No, but like Haruhi's too nice, I think. You see, you have to be a tsundere that likes you for the most part, but also will punch you in the face. And then I thought of Lum from Urusei Yatsura because her whole character is about loving what's his name, Ataru or something like that. It's all about loving him. She's like, oh my god, I love you so much. Let's get married. But then she'll also electrocute the fuck out of him. So that was my answer.
Let's see here if we can go through a couple more of these quickly. Cats constantly complaining about food.
Choji.
Nice.
God, what a
That was
weeb.
easy.
I
also thought about that.
Man, good lord. So Pancake's just gonna take a fat nap after this because
That's the plan.
you have to come on the hentai episode.
It's just me and you, baby. We can
I'm
do
gonna
it
be-
any day this week.
It's gonna be like it's gonna be tonight. It's gonna be like
You can't make me.
it's gonna be like reanimating a corpse after this fucking podcast.
What are we doing at the hentai episode? Because if it's not too bad, I'll join.
It's gonna be so I wrote down anime has tainted its viewers into being fetishized.
We're just going
pervs.
to talk about cats some more.
We're gonna talk about more fetishes, basically.
Come on, Caroline.
Yeah.
Make it more
on,
entertaining,
baby.
'cause I know it'll be boring. without me, so.
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
go.
shut up.
I'm gonna have to go.
We bring the spice.
Well, thank God for
He'll
Caroline.
be by himself.
Because I'm gonna have to reanimate this corpse off the couch because you've already had pretty much at least half a bottle of champagne. At least. Because I filled that carafe more than half. You see what the lettering on the carafe is? Hand me that carafe.
Woo!
Hand me that carafe. Don't spill it.
My fish.
Don't spill the 3 drops that are left in here. So if
Oh gosh.
people watching live, this thing's pretty big, right? I filled it up to about here with champagne.
It's also a fish.
It's
Wait,
a fish.
That's champagne. It looks like orange juice.
Well, it's got orange juice in it. It's mimosas. So I filled this
okay, so
motherfucker.
okay.
I filled it up to here with champagne completely, and it's gone. So you have consumed probably 3/4 of a bottle of champagne, and therefore it will be like reanimating a dead body after we're done with this.
I think I'm just gonna drink the rest out of the fish.
So I didn't know. I couldn't.
Finish the topic. You take a cat nap and you'll be back.
Oh
right,
my
so-
gosh, it's so fitting because cats eat fish.
Well, they're
In the
they
fish
supposedly, but that never really
bottle.
happened. Actually, what cats eat is like
way.
what cats really eat is like corn. Because like if you ever look at what you're feeding your animals, it's like dead food, like corn and fucking wheat and shit.
Shut up. Back
All
to
right.
anime cats.
Anyway, so
Let's move on.
Cat constantly complains about food. So I didn't have a good answer for this, so I Googled it. And I came up with Kyo from Fruits Basket. Because apparently hold on a second. So
he
He's
doesn't like
literally a cat.
leeks. He's a good cook, and he doesn't like leeks.
so here's this website, 10 picky eaters in anime. And if you scroll down barely at all, you'll get number 9. Kyo is forced to wear a gas mask around his least favorite foods.
Leeks.
There's some other good ones on here too. I almost picked
See,
out.
I misinterpreted what you meant by this. I thought you meant cats constantly complaining about getting food. Like,
Well, you
Yeah,
can complain.
that will
You can interpret
bother
it however you want.
Like, fill my bowl, give me food, blah blah blah.
Feed
I
me,
was
feed me,
thinking Sasha.
feed me.
Sasha from Attack on Titan, of course.
Perfect.
Oh, that's a great one.
Who in Naruto is it?
Choji.
I want to eat
Choji.
ramen.
Can we go get ramen after the podcast, please?
I don't think so.
Please.
No.
Why are
No.
you so mean?
We already ordered Chipotle.
Cancel it.
No, it's pre-ordered. I can't cancel
Oh,
it.
you suck.
Oh my god. I could have picked Ed Elric because apparently he hates milk, but I haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, so I didn't really.
You
fucking...
haven't?
Never
No, I haven't
Full
seen
Metal
it.
It
Alchemist?
is so good.
You haven't seen Full Metal? It's so good.
I thought it was okay.
I've seen it.
Like, you know, people say it's
Do you
the
remember
best
the
anime of
conversation
all
we
time,
had
and I'm like,
earlier?
What?
Do you remember the conversation we had earlier? Remember that as you talk to me, sir.
There's a lot of conversations that we've had. Mm-hmm. And I'm old, so I don't remember any of them. Did we all answer this question?
Yes.
Yes.
Last one here, quickly. Feral cat that runs from you outside. I picked San from Princess Mononoke. That bitch would chop your cock off for sure if you tried to talk to her, and would definitely run away from you and be like, fuck off.
Itachi.
I had. Oh, sorry.
How did this turn into Naruto character?
Sasuke and Itachi.
I had a hard time thinking of this one. I was just thinking very differently from what you guys thought of. I just wrote down Anya from Spy X Family just because they always tell her to stay there and she doesn't stay. She always goes and causes some sort of problem. So that's what I was thinking of. And actually, there is one
Yeah.
more Mitsugi.
Yes.
Black cats with a bad rep.
I know. If you want to do it, go ahead quickly.
I put Jutsetsu from Raven of the Inner Palace because people avoided her, even though she's a very sweet person.
Was that the princess, the main character?
Yes.
She was cute. I picked Naruto from Naruto because he has like this bad reputation of having like the cursed 9 tails in him, and everyone's
Yeah.
like afraid of him or whatever at first.
That's a good
I would.
answer.
What about the nine-tailed fox itself? Him and Naruto became home slicers.
What about the
mean-
9-tailed fox? He's
The
all
nine-tailed
furry.
fox was an asshole until Naruto worked his talk no jutsu on him, and then he became very nice. Like he was a black cat with a reason.
Okay, how about Neji then?
What about the sexy no jutsu?
I don't know. People kind of. I mean, he was an asshole, and then he became not so much of an asshole. But I don't know. I feel like Naruto better fits it.
We know what that means.
It's time for a weekly trivia question. Whoop,
That's
whoop.
right.
In
Ding,
the
ding, ding,
anime
ding.
Mashle, what is the name of the magical academy that Mash is forced to attend? And we'll give you
Hogwarts.
the answer No. After the news break.
When we get back, guys, we're going to have mailbags, and we're going to have a review of Mashle, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Say bye to Pancake till the hentai episode. She's going to go take a fat cat nap now. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, anime fans, Mitsugi's here, and I'm bringing you your anime news. Getting it started off with an update about Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron, which passes some major box office milestones in Japan. The movie is doing quite well still. It has grossed about $35 million in less than a month in Japan, which is the highest grossing film in Japan over that time period. The Boy and the Heron thoroughly dominated its opening weekend, making $11.3 million. However, it has dropped to 4th place in the box office in this past week in Japan, as you know, nothing stays on the top forever. The Boy and the Heron is the first major project from Hayao Miyazaki in the past 10 years and is set during the Pacific conflict of World War II. The Boy and the Heron follows a young boy called Mahito who delves into a fantastical world after finding an abandoned tower in his new town and discovering a talking gray heron. So this will be out, I assume, in theaters in the U.S., maybe on streaming services fairly soon, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Next up, the manga Sengoku Yoko is getting a TV anime for the winter of 2024, which is really not that far off. So it's going to be done by director Masahiro Aizawa of Haku Hoshin Engi and Mawadu Penguin Drum, who was an episode director of Mawadu Penguin Drum. Done by Studio White Fox. The world is divided into two factions, humans and monsters, called Katawada. Despite being a Katawada, Tama loves humans and vows to protect them from evil, even if it means fighting her own kind. So, sounds like an interesting fantasy anime. The Katawada that definitely looks like Catgirl sort of, because I see Catgirl ears in the art. But we all know now that all anime characters are cats. So there you go. Next up, let's delve into the world of what the most watched TV anime in Japan are currently. We haven't done this in a while, and it looks like, just combing the list, it's a lot of your normal, just typical tops here. Sazae-san, Detective Conan, Chibi Maruko-chan, all coming in the top 3. One Piece at number 4, Doraemon, Pretty Cure, Crayon Shin-chan, all your normal sort of run-of-the-mills here, but there are a few that are seasonal. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is Zom 100. Both make the top 10 list of most watched anime in Japan. So, but they are way down the list. Next up, the manga Ji-san Ba-san Wakagairu gets a TV anime also. So this is based on Kagiri Araido's manga. So the synopsis is about Shozo and Ine, who have been happily married for as long as they can remember, even in their old age with wrinkles and cracked limbs. The strength of this love is evident by their precious bond. And then randomly one day they wake up to find that they are young again. So kind of a cute and interesting take on a romance comedy, I assume. So look out for Ji-san Ba-san Wakagairu coming out here sometime pretty soon, I'm sure. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, time to get back to the podcast. Every day, Pancake is abused, beaten, and neglected by being forced to go to work. She's crying out for help. Her syrup, it's dry.
It's so dry.
Please go to AAApodcast.com/join or Patreon and join the Anime Addicts with a monthly gift. Don't wait. For just 22 cents a day, you could help rescue a pancake from a life of doing things. Act now within the next 30 minutes, and you'll receive a welcome package of hentai episodes, hobby addicts, and after parties during which a pancake may appear. Given a second chance at life, Pancake may even appear on this very podcast thanks to you. So help make Pancake the Anime Addicts Anonymous sugar baby by going to AAApodcast.com/join or Patreon right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
There is a pancake who needs you you can say, I'm here to help.
Hey, this is Miley Flanagan, the voice of Naruto Uzumaki, and I am an anime addict. Use your Rasengan!
Welcome back to the podcast. In the anime Mashle, what is the name of the magical academy that Mash is forced to attend? It's not Hogwarts, it's Easton Magic Academy.
A very unassuming name for a magic school. Easton.
I am now wearing Pancake's cat ears, even though I'm bald.
Oh, fuck, Mitsugi, you look so hot. Oh my god.
Yeah. No. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. All right, and it's time for mailbags now, so let's hit it.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. Did you have an anime history?
I did not prepare one.
Mason put it on here, but I guess, yeah. Anyway.
It was talked about last week, but...
That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why don't you take the mailbag?
Maybe next time. All right. So if you would like to submit a mailbag, you can do so at AAApodcast.com and click on the mailbag button to ask us any sort of question you like Dustin did. Dustin with a Y. Or maybe Dustine.
Dustine.
Nobody's ever quite sure. So they say, hello, cast. Love you guys so much. And I hope to stick around for a long time. We hope so as well. I love fucked up and sad anime.
Oh, okay.
What are your favorites? Or what would you recommend? Mitz, what would you say?
Well, fucked up is kind of tough to define. I mean, there could be a lot of different reasons why something's fucked up. So I stuck to mostly the sad stuff. Excuse me, but Full Moon Osagashite is pretty sad. I mean, that's one of the saddest anime I've ever seen. Clannad After Story is really fucked up. I mean, some of the key visual arts anime are just unnecessarily just sad for no reason. Like, they almost just make them overly depressing just so they can, like, inject some drama into the show. Air is pretty sad. It's also key visual arts. I mean, all these shows just have to do with people dying or being dead. Grave of the Fireflies is really sad. If you want fucked up stuff, I mean, I don't know. Some of the Devilman stuff is pretty bad. Like, the old stuff is pretty aggressively violent. You know, obviously things like Angel Cop are really, really violent. Urotsuki Doji, some of these old, like, 80s OVAs, I mean, a lot of them are really violent and just brutal. The very end of the original Berserk season, that's pretty rough. I mean, but, you know, sad and quote unquote fucked up are very different things. So, what did you put down?
You see, they ask for our favorite fucked up anime, but I don't really have a lot of favorites in that category because I don't really like a lot of extremely depressing stuff. But Devilman Crybaby, as you said, is probably one of the most fucked up anime I've ever seen. The most recent one. And it was good. I would not say it was my favorite because, again, not huge on being so sad. But I guess also kind of in that category, but not at all close to the degree that Devilman Crybaby was. Attack on Titan, I suppose, is one of my favorites because it is very good, but it's not, like, you know, crazy depressing. but it rarely makes anyone happy. And yeah.
I have often mentioned this, but like, so the Devilman Apocalypse of Amon is some of the brutal stuff. I mean, there's a scene where a demon eats a little kid like a corn cob in that fucking anime, and they show every bit of it. They show his little kid eyeballs falling out and all this other shit. And it's pretty rough, and he's like 7, 8, maybe 5. So I mean, some of these '80s anime are pretty fucking insane. I mean, when you go back, even stuff like Wicked City and like Ninja Scroll are pretty outrageous. Like they're almost done like that just for shock value. So. The next mailbag is from Chef Julian. Hey, Addicts. Long-time listener, first-time writer. I always love what y'all are cooking. I was wondering, I was having this conversation and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Subtitles or dubbed? What shows do you think are a better experience one way or the other? I actually like dubbed anime. One, because they're just easier to watch. I'm so busy most of the time that I'm usually sneaking these anime in, like in cracks of time where most people wouldn't think they have time to watch an anime. Like if like in the morning, I order a breakfast burrito like every morning by my office, and I'll wait like 5 minutes while I eat a burrito or while I wait for the burrito to get made. And I'm literally like, well, if I spend 5 minutes a day waiting for this burrito, that's one episode of anime I can watch in a week. You know, stuff like that will allow you to get it done, but it's just easier to watch and get them finished when they're dubbed. So I really like dubbed anime because it's just easier for me to watch for the podcast. And also, if you were a person that had ever watched anime on Cartoon Network, as a lot of people are, and they still show anime on Cartoon Network, they're almost always dubbed, and you really get used to hearing the characters' dubbed voices, so I can't really watch. I really don't enjoy Dragon Ball and dubbed very much. I really prefer hearing the voices that I grew up with. Same with like Outlaw Star, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, GTO. All these shows had dubs that I, watched and dubbed all the time, and so it's very difficult to hear these like very strange and unfamiliar voices from, the subtitles. So, but sometimes things aren't dubbed, so you have no choice but to watch the subtitles. Caroline, what do you think?
Well, my first foray into anime was not all that long ago. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. No. It's been much longer than that. It was like, yeah. I can't do the math right now with the whiskey.
How much whiskey you got left?
But, like that much.
Oh, you're getting towards the bottom.
Yeah. It's just I also had a cider before this.
You take yours neat, or do you take you how do you take your
on
whiskey?
The rocks, usually.
On the rocks.
But I can do it. Neat is without rocks, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I could do either, really, but most of the time it's on the rocks. Anywho, when I first started watching anime, I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch the dub. Like, why would I watch anime in a language I don't understand? But in the middle of watching Naruto, I had caught up with the dub, and I'm like, well, damn, I need to continue the show, so, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to watch the subtitles. And so I did, and I never went back. So overall, I would say subbed, because anime dialogue is just, like, one of the reasons being is that anime dialogue is 10 times cringier when you can hear it in your native English.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, because sure, things can be cringy when you read them, but it sounds even cringier when you can understand it and hear it, like the power of friendship stuff, you know what I mean? Plus, there are certain jokes and references that just would not make any sense in English. And also, I just hate the lack of variety in English voice actors. It just makes it sound boring, you know? Mm-hmm. Especially when my arch nemesis, Bryce Papenbrook, is in every single show. Bryce Papenbrook may be a very nice person, I have no idea, but his voice is the ultimate cringe factor.
What did he do? What did he ever do to you?
He's in everything, Mitsugi. He is every single male character in every single anime. It's so frustrating. And he has a certain cadence in his voice that I just find very
That's
unappealing.
impressive.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's like Eddie Murphy or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is like on every single dub cast speed dial. He's on everything, which is great for him.
He does, yeah.
But I hate his voice. I also I do wish that like I could like dubs because as you say, multitasking would make watching anime for the podcast much easier. But I also want to enjoy the listening experience, so I don't really like multitasking anyway. But there are certain shows I do think that the dubs are worth listening to, like especially if the show takes place in a more Western environment. So it accentuates the atmosphere if it's done well. Like 91 Days or Princess Principal are the two that I would first think about as good dubs that make the dialogue more interesting than it would be in its native Japanese.
Interesting notes about Bryce Papenbrook. Both of his parents were also voice actors.
No way.
And for anime, and his alternate names include Bryce Rothstein and Dick Smallberries Jr.
What the frick is that?
I don't know. He's got a tiny penis, apparently.
Dick Smallberries Jr.
He's got
There's
tiny
two
nuts.
of them.
Got tiny balls.
And I say, I feel bad because like Bryce could be a really cool person that I would like to talk to, but I just can't stand his voice. I just can't. And he plays all the bland male, dark-haired protagonists.
Well, in that case, you are required to not like him. So sad, right. So sad. All right. Well, it is time for our review of Mashle, I do believe. So Mashle was a spring 2023 anime. I passed this on episode 676, which is not so long ago, 14 episodes ago. That seems relatively recent. I watched it on Crunchyroll, and I watched it dubbed until I ran out of dubs, and then that's the thing. It's like if you're gonna watch it dubbed though, you end up watching things like a year later because it takes them forever to dub shit. In this magical world, one is easily identified as having magical abilities by a distinctive mark on their face. Those unable to practice magic are swiftly exterminated to maintain the magical integrity of society. However, deep within a forest lies an anomaly, Mash Bernadette, who can be found pumping iron with one arm and lifting a cream puff with the other. This aloof boy, with superhuman strength but no magical ability, leads a quiet life with his father, far removed from society, until Mash's peace is disturbed when the authorities discover his lack of magical powers. They issue him an ultimatum. Compete to become a divine visionary, which would force everyone to accept him, or be persecuted forever. To protect his family, he enrolls in Easton Magic Academy, which only the most elite and gifted students are allowed to attend, and now he must overcome his shortcomings as a magicless being, relying solely on his muscles. This is an A1 Pictures anime. I'm not going to bother going through what they've done because there's like a trillion things. And it's based on...
It doesn't look like A1. Like
it definitely
the character designs are much different.
Yeah, it definitely has like a distinct, style to it. But, Caroline, what were your expectations going in?
The main thing I heard about was One Punch Man with hair and Harry Potter, and that is all I had going into it. Like, and I also knew it was like gag comedy. Heard something about cream puffs. I'm not even entirely sure, but those were the main points that I had to work on.
Yeah, I'd say that's like pretty accurate too, for the most part. For me, I wrote down action, and Harry Potter. Basically, I mean, I watched four. I think I watched 4 episodes of this before I passed it, just to make sure. And I was literally.
I thought this was listener choice, actually.
And I'm pretty sure I passed it. I mean, I was just blown away by how similar to Harry Potter this was, at the beginning at least. And we'll get to it. But, Caroline, would you recommend Mashle?
I would recommend Mashle because I thought it was very funny and entertaining. And I kind of know what your thoughts were, about the general show. But I think a lot of my opinions kind of clash with yours because a lot of things that you did not love about it, I kind of did. Like, I really liked all the Harry Potter references, and to be honest, I don't think it's a Harry Potter ripoff because even though there are references to Harry Potter,
Oh, come on.
The story's very different from Harry Potter.
Did you skip the Quidditch episode?
No, there are references, but the story
yeah.
in itself is not a Harry Potter story. Harry Potter does not have bulging muscles that rocks the world. And Harry Potter also has magic and Mash doesn't, so it's kind of very different in terms of those things. It definitely parodies the whole idea of a magical school, Quidditch, Draco Malfoy, there are so many references that I thought were hilarious. And it also constantly makes fun of itself, not just Harry Potter, but itself and its diversion of expectations, which I thought was very good. There are a lot of drawbacks to the show, unfortunately. Like, Mash is a little too dumb sometimes. The whole ripping off the front door thing is referenced too many times, and it's so dumb and, like, doesn't make any, like...
And then you can't put it back in the right shape. Like, are you fucking idiot?
Like, him ripping off the door is fine. It's him not knowing how to put it back in the shape that makes it way past dumb into like some other territory.
Just like on another level of stupidity.
That's like mental illness territory.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes and he makes those really dumb, he does these really dumb things, but then he suddenly becomes a lot smarter when the story requires it. And some other gags, like the whole cream puff thing, are just way overdone. Like, it's just too random and silly to be funny so many times in a row. The
True cream funky love.
Yeah, it was
so sweet.
So sweet. The side characters all have the same exact formula. They start off as Mash's adversaries. Mash says or does something that makes them like or respect him. They get a backstory just shoved into the episode, and now they're allies. Like, it happened every single time. Every single time. The fight stuff can also be repetitive due to most characters having only one type of spell that they use, which, I mean, sometimes it's okay, but once they have like 7 fights and the characters say the same spell over and over and over again, it's too
becomes
boring.
Repetitive, yeah.
But I thought Mash's fighting was often good. Like, and you could make the same excuse. Like, it did get a little repetitive here or there, and some things were not exactly, oh my god, that was so awesome. There were some awesome stuff, awesome points, awesome moments in this show, in Mash's fighting, which I thought was good. And honestly, the show overall, I think it looks good for what it is, like a gag comedy with Harry Potter references. You wouldn't think that would have a lot of budget, but there are certain times where Mash will throw a punch, and it looks pretty good. All in all, I think it's like just the big dumb fun kind of show. It has some clever jokes and some good meta humor mixed in with some not so great ones. But I thought it was still very entertaining to me. So therefore, I would recommend it.
I did not particularly enjoy Mashle. I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, this is a shonen show, and there's a lot of other options out there. I think it starts off fun with its like ridiculous setup and the rip-off of Harry Potter, the Quidditch, the school, the tests, the characters, or some of them are pretty similar. But I really think that it failed to maintain its interest level as the season rolled on. It kind of trades the wonder and introduction of the world for fighting, which never seemed to really capture much interest from me. Unfortunately, I feel like the action in a lot of these shonen fighting anime, which is what this ends up becoming, because all they did was fight for like the entire second half of the season. It's just I just don't think the action was my particular breed of action that I enjoy. Because a lot of the combatants really only had one ability they used. So like one guy would just like continuously summon like rock spires out of the ground to like hit his opponents, or they would like summon some crazy like Egyptian god or something that would just kind of like stand there, and I don't know. The action just didn't really grab me very much. And then Mash can't do anything. All he does is just like run up to you and punch you in the face. So he's not really all that interesting. So, I mean, the second half of this anime was
and catapults rocks from this. I thought it was sometimes pretty cool.
I mean, it wasn't always boring, but like, I don't know. There's just a lot of other options out there that just do action way better, and even like Bastard has better action than this, in my opinion. So, yeah, and honestly, Mash is kind of he's okay, but he's just so dry and uninteresting for the most part. I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of personality going for him, and I guess that's the intent. But, and I just do not enjoy the character designs, like these stupid eye lines coming out of their eyes is just like gets old pretty quick, honestly. And I actually thought that your analogy to One Punch Man was pretty accurate because he is a lot like Saitama. I mean, he's kind of like your flat personality, sort of dumb character who just can pretty much take anybody out in one punch for the most part. Although he doesn't actually take anybody out in one punch, but he
probably could if he was serious.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, yeah. So, and honestly, this anime didn't have a very strong narrative either. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the fuck the plot line was. I mean, I know this is going to keep going. I think people watched it. I think it's going to go till it's done. But if you want my opinion, I think it's going to go for a while longer because there wasn't a whole lot of storyline being unfolded in this first 12 episodes. So
yeah, I disagree because sorry, can I?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So, I thought the narrative here was pretty tangible, especially for a gag comedy. Like, okay, Mash has no magic. Unmagical people are being discriminated against. In order for him to not be locked away forever, along with his dad, he has to attend the magic school and become like Wizard of the Year or their equivalent in this school, except he doesn't have any magic. And so he's meeting all these people who end up, wanting to align themselves with somebody who doesn't have any magic. And eventually he's going to gain enough coins to become Wizard of the Year, defeat the enemies, this underground organization. And apparently organization has some sort of connection to MASH. And eventually he's going to save the world and quit everyone's discrimination against unmagical people. I can definitely see this having a very strong narrative, in fact.
But doesn't that all happen in the beginning for the most part?
Well, there's still the underground organization they have to deal with. I mean, I do agree that they kind of took care of a lot of the main school villains. Like, the equivalent of Slytherin is basically kaput. At least we think so. But he still has to they dropped the bomb that he has no magic. And I guess that's kind of spoiler territory, but
I mean,
we'll get into that later. There's more I think they can do with it in the second season, which has already been announced. But I think I do agree that I was surprised by the fact that they kind of took care of the equivalent of Slytherin, but whatever.
All right. Well, now that we've laid all that out, you want to get into spoilers?
I just didn't even realize.
I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, the fact that he doesn't have magic powers and all that is...
No, it's not that. I was talking about the whole Slytherin stuff and what happened in the last episode. Whatever. It's okay.
Spoilers.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
I don't think anybody's gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna flip a shit that you gave a plot point. So. Yeah,
I don't think so either. But yeah. So, by the end of the episode, they're teasing the secret organization and all that. It's probably going to play a big role in the second season. Sure, they're gonna have to kind of diversify on some of the gags, I think, because if I have to hear every episode culminating in a cream puff gag,
oh come on,
it's gonna get old.
Shoe cream funky love.
I'm not saying anything about the Edie, which is pretty good. I see you didn't like the OP though. I thought the OP was great.
Yeah, it just didn't do much for me.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
I just couldn't get over how much of a ripoff this was of Harry Potter for about 5 episodes. I mean, I literally thought during the Quidditch episode, I thought to myself, J.K. Rowling's going to, roll in here with a fucking lawsuit and just, drop the hammer on these people because...
I don't think she can.
God.
It depends on where you are, but we do have parody laws in the United States, at least, that protects people in the pursuit of parodying works. And this is a parody. It's not taking any major plot points from Harry Potter and copying it.
I mean, I'm not like a pro at copyright law, so I don't have any real knowledge of that, honestly. But it just seemed
I'm
like
sure it's complicated, but
I mean, no.
so, if SNL can make a Harry Potter parody that is so much more a rip-off of Harry Potter than MASH, I'm sure MASH is okay.
I mean, I guess I didn't literally think that they were doing anything illegal. It was just kind of hilarious how there's not a single human that could miss the comparisons.
I know.
To Harry Potter.
I thought it was very funny.
Yeah, it was. But it became even more Harry Potter as it went on. But once they started just fighting all the time, like it stopped being Harry Potter because, as far as I can tell, that's not really how Harry Potter is. But pretty hilarious, honestly.
The main thing was how much lawlessness took place in this school, and that's very
God,
Harry
yeah.
Potter. Like the equivalent of Slytherin's literally kidnapping students, and like the equivalent of assaulting them by taking away their magical ability, and also this one student over here is pledging himself to commit magical genocide, and it's like probably a slap on the wrist. Like, they didn't get into the consequences of that situation, but I'm gonna guess it's probably something similar.
Did you enjoy? I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, this is such a simple anime. Like, I feel like not much happened. I watched the last third of it Saturday morning, and it just like I blew through it real quick because it was just a bunch of fight scenes. Which to me is never a good sign, because that's kind of like what happens. A lot of these shows end up like that. Like even like Ranking of Kings, if you recall, sort of devolved into 4 or 5 episodes. You're just fighting the shadow monster at the end or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And Yu Yu Hakusho devolves into like a 30 episode tournament. And I just didn't find the action in Mashle to be very engaging. Summoning the same fucking like rock spell, or using your stupid puppet magic, or all these, it just doesn't really like hit me very well. And I'm definitely not very interested in like the summon magic that these characters seem to do. Like a few of them had, like I'm gonna summon some puppet master god, or I'm gonna summon a beast to fight for me or whatever. But it never really seemed to have a lot of stakes, because you just knew Mash was gonna win every fight, and he does. So I don't know. Did you find the? I mean, Nick, you already said it, but did you find the action to be particularly compelling?
I mean, it wasn't exactly the greatest thing. I liked moments of it. I can't say I liked all of it. Like, there would be some times where Mash does like a pretty cool move, and I'm like, oh yeah, woo! But for the most part, like, of course I knew Mash was gonna win. And of course, at a certain point, I knew exactly how every character was gonna go. He's gonna be an adversary. Mash is gonna beat them. They will like Mash, and now they're an ally. And it happened with every single character.
That happens so frequently. I mean,
yeah.
Even in like Dr. Stone, which we mentioned earlier, like it's such a shonen trope to have the villains ultimately become allies. Like even fucking Frieza ended up joining the Dragon Ball people in Dragon Ball Z, for the Dragon Ball Super tournament. And Frieza is like the epitome of pure evil. So it was like pretty shocking to see those kinds of cliches happen. But I mean, I guess it does happen in a lot of shonen shows.
Yeah, it's just, I wish it wasn't as blatant, because it was the exact formula. Like, they didn't even deviate once. And I appreciated the backstories since we got them, because a lot of times you have carbon copies of a villain and not know anything about them. So I'm glad we got backstories. It's just, I wish they wouldn't insert them right after Mash says something apparently insightful, and then they get into the backstory and they're like, oh yes, I totally understand. And then but like there was one moment with like the Lance, the blue-haired character. Mash says something along the lines of like, I'm too clumsy, to make a decision about something. I don't really know exactly what he said, but because I couldn't really understand what he meant by what he said. He just said he was clumsy. And all of a sudden, Lance thinks back to his little sister because he's a ciscon, and his sister says something along the lines of, "You're so clumsy, Lance." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I understand everything now." And then Lance becomes Mashle's best friend. And I'm like, what did that mean?
I think Dragon Ball is the worst at this trope.
I can't make a comment on that.
Well, that's fine. I can't. I mean, Lady Amory in the chat, is right. I mean, Dragon Ball is the worst at this. I mean, and it's such a bad, brutal trope. I mean, Piccolo becomes an ally. Tien Shanhan was a villain. He became an ally. Even Vegeta, he became an ally. Vegeta is, everyone knows Vegeta's always a good guy, but no, Vegeta was a bad guy for originally.
Everybody loves a redemption.
But give me a break.
You need to give them a reason to redeem.
Frieza becomes an ally. Boo becomes an ally. The only character in Dragon Ball, and the androids become allies. The only character that ever didn't become an ally in Dragon Ball at any point was Cell. He's the only character that didn't become an ally.
Wait, they're working on that, I'm sure.
And it's the same in all these other shows, like Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm fairly certain that Hiei was a villain at the beginning, and he becomes an ally. Dragon Quest is brutal for that. Like, it's always, we're gonna become an ally. Naruto, it's every shonen show. So yeah, it's a pretty brutal trope to have that happen. It's probably like the number one. And then the other trope that hasn't happened in this yet, but it's starting to, is like the lines that come out of their eyes and go like down their face or whatever. And then at the end, one character has 4 lines. So it went from 1 line to 4 lines pretty fast. And I just wondered, I mean, are we going to get to the point in Mashle where there's a character that has like 16 lines coming out of their eyes?
Sure.
I mean,
that there's lines all over their body.
Yeah, it's just everywhere.
But on that topic, I was thinking about this and I broke it down because the math ain't mathing.
It's not mathing, people.
They say the probability of people having 2 lines is 1 in 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take an estimate that there are at least 15 people shown in this show so far with 2 lines or more. So that means that there is at least a population of 1.5 million people in this one magic society that has access to this academy. And that is like an insanely conservative number, considering the fact that we are only looking at a select group of teenagers in this school and not even thinking about the children that have yet to come to this school or the adults that have probably graduated from this school already. 1.5 million people as a bare minimum, Mitsugi.
If one was it 1 in 100,000 has 2 lines? Because there was a 3-line character, I think, and there was a 4-line character. So how many? What is it like? One? Are we talking? Does it go exponentially? Was it?
I have no idea. They have not gotten to that yet. They have not explained that.
I just think that they really escalated quick because if you're at the
they did. I'm looking everywhere and there's like 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines. I'm like, where did they all come from?
Yeah, it didn't take them long. Like, you would think there'd be a lot of, like, no-lined characters and then 1 lines, and then maybe there'd be, like, 1 character would have 2 lines in the first season, and you'd be like, oh, my God, 2 lines. Oh, it's like the boss. But, no. Like, the 2-line characters don't really seem that much different than the 1-line characters. And then...
Apparently they have access to a more advanced spell, or they have more potential than 1-lined people. But...
You know who I liked in this season was Dot, the redheaded kid.
I thought he was cool, yeah.
He's pretty cool. I mean, he takes all those, what is it, like he had to take 10 hits from that one guy, and... Yeah, he's pretty cool. I like his hair. He reminds me of some...
I mean, I liked the side characters for the most part. Like, I liked Lance, I liked Dot. You know, Lemon was kind of funny here and there. Lemon. I was waiting for more to be revealed with Finn, like the green and yellow haired character. Because here's the thing, his brother is the divine visionary, the wizard of the year, if you will. So I was hoping for more from him, like within the last arc where they're doing all those battles. I was expecting Finn to pull something out, like something pretty cool, and show his potential as a side character, but he was just wallowing.
What is the deal with Lemon? So if you look at the character designs, and you may not have an answer, and that's fine. I don't have an answer. So every character in this anime, including Mash, which I can't remember, is his like face like line drawn on artificially? Because
Apparently, like, so that police guy that put him up to this whole mission, it just says that he made one for him. So I don't know if that was like a magic spell that put something on his face, or if it's just drawn.
Got it.
It could be either.
Well, so if you look at the character designs, as I'm doing right now, they pretty much all go from their eyeballs all the way down to the edge of the bottom of their cheek or chin or whatever, and then off their face. But Lemon has one line, and it stops halfway. It looks like an upside down question mark that only goes to halfway down her cheek and doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. So does that mean she's like pathetically weak? Does she have like a half a line worth of power?
I don't think it's that specific. I think it's just like a line, no matter where it ends or begins. I think it's just a design choice.
I mean, she's a little bit cute, but not overly cute. I don't know. The designs in this anime are kind of odd to me. They have very thick line art, and they look very cartoony.
I liked them enough.
I mean, they're fine. It's not terrible. But, like, man, but the lines are... So I will say the line on the faces is not as obnoxious as having, like, shapes in their eyeballs. You know?
They did get into that a little bit, though, at the end.
That drives me fucking crazy, honestly, but...
I know it. I knew it would. I'm like, ooh, Mitz is not going to like this guy.
It is what it is. There's a second season already announced of this. It comes out
in 2024.
Yeah, the winter season. But I'm just not that interested. Like, I don't really care. I don't know where it's going, but I just don't give a shit. Like, he has to go to this academy and become, dominant in order to not have his like family or himself persecuted. But like, that's not. It must have to go deeper and bigger than that, because it's such a small and insignificant thing to be like putting up as the stakes for the anime that I have to imagine that it's going to like expand into something bigger.
I mean, it sounds like it's going to get into some like political corruption, since this one government department is like ruling the entire world basically. And like, what kind of people do you have running that kind of department that will actually kill people that don't have any magical ability? If anything, they would want to keep those people around because it accentuates their power level, which, I mean, At first I was like kind of confused, like, why would you want to kill the people with no power whatsoever? That sounds kind of counterintuitive.
It seems like a weird take on eugenics, and there have been a handful of anime that have touched on eugenics, and everybody feels a different way about it, but that definitely seems like what they're doing. Like, we want to prevent the people that don't have magic power from like reproducing, so we can create this like race of super beings that are all magically powerful and whatnot. But that's a whole hell of a lot of people are going to kind of look down on that, because that's, I don't know, kind of Nazi-like in some ways.
That is kind of a part of Harry Potter, to be honest. But,
yeah, is that like the whole Muggle thing? And
yeah, like the Mudbloods and the Squibs. That's what they were called. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think it can get too deep, because it is first and foremost a comedy. It's all like, your enjoyment of the show is going to be very based on what your comedic style is. I, for the most part, liked it, except for like the choice gags where like fitting a door the wrong way and the cream puffs.
Stupid.
Like, sometimes the cream puffs were funny, but like it got way too often, like too much.
For you to not be able to put that door back in the right shape in the door frame, your IQ's got to be like 30 in order to not be able to do that. I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, I feel like a German Shepherd could do that. So it's pretty
good. But there were some moments of meta humor that I absolutely loved. Like, I've mentioned this before, but I hate it when anime characters will like lick a knife, like, and they like I absolutely hate it so much. Like when they lick anything, just so I don't know what they're supposed to be doing, but
Lick
it's
it.
so cringe and stupid. And so when the end villain, that like innocent zero person, like takes a rock and licks it.
Oh, I remember
was like,
that.
what the fuck is that?
Didn't he comment on that?
But
Like, did you just
then-
lick a rock?
Yeah, he just licked a rock. And then like, did you just lick a rock? Are you in that phase? And I'm like, that killed me. That killed me. Perfect. That was perfect.
I almost bought a bucket of cream puffs for this episode and bring them in and eat them, but then I was like, wait a second. Eating on mic is just not good. I was like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I was
But
like,
you
I'm
should
not.
still get the cream puffs.
Well, I do have to go to the grocery store later, so we'll see. But yeah, it's the cream puff thing is weird though, because it's like, first of all, he's all muscle. He's like, it's all about muscles, right? Like it's even in the title. But like cream puffs aren't gonna have much protein at all, so it's not really a food that like a muscle person eats.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd. I mean, a cream puff is going to be like a lot of carbs. I mean, it's not going to have much protein in there, so it's not going to do much for your muscles. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. The cream puff thing sure was prevalent, though. He sure like pulls cream puffs out of his ass all the time. So,
But as Lady Emery says in the chat, she loved Mashle body slamming the woman for equality. That made me roll on the floor. That was so funny when she's like, he's like, don't worry, I treat women equally as men, as he's like doing a WWE head slam into the ground. That was awesome.
well, if you're going to engage in combat, at least, not going to take it easy on you, I guess. So,
No, but like her entire life is built on like appealing to her feminine side, and it doesn't even matter because her head's going to be in the ground.
do you want to score it? I don't have a whole lot more to say. I mean, Mashle was fun. It's a silly like gag fighting show that doesn't have much depth to it, in my opinion. But if it does have depth, it's mostly because it's a Harry Potter ripoff, or at least in some parts. But I'll let you go first if you want to. We're pretty much at that time. So
just some like extra little things, like a 5-minute appearance from Draco Malfoy, or like the equivalent of, was great, and he never appears again. Dumbledore's barely in it, but he's there. You see him.
he's there for briefly.
Yeah. Just like so many other things. If you're a Harry Potter fan, I think you'll enjoy this one, just because you'll find little Easter eggs here and there where, it reminds you of the, of Harry Potter. Even like the episode titles are references to Harry Potter, because it's like Mash, Burn Dead, and the blank blank blank. Like every novel of Harry Potter is titled like that. So Mash, he can be great, and I find him funny sometimes, but at the same time, he has incredible stupidity that I could do without most of the time. And also, he has like extreme justifications for all of his enemies. Like, here you have one character that like kidnapped dozens of students, tried to take their magical power away from them, and also has dreams of committing genocide. But he's like, well, you did it for your mom, so you can't be that bad of a guy. Which is like, Mash, he really can be that bad of a guy. I would not justify everything just because he loves his mom. So there's that. And there was also like just one more thing, just like a side thing, is like with the last arc, they place a lot of emphasis on a 30-minute like timeline, because they were like, oh, if you don't rescue Lemon within 30 minutes, she's gonna lose her magical ability forever. And they tell friends of Mash, like, oh, if you don't defeat this guy, Mash is gonna turn into a statue in 30 minutes. And there was one other thing, but I can't remember specifically what it was. But it was like all these things that did not have any it did not have any impact by the end, which I thought was just really weird. Like, so many 30-minute things, but not at all important. Just wanted to mention that because I thought that was strange. But for the most part, I thought this show was generally enjoyable. It's my type of humor a lot of the time. Some of it just got a little dumb. I thought the ED and OP was very good. I thought for what it was, it looked pretty good. And I would certainly watch season 2. But it's not like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So with all that, I think I will give this this is going to be too simple, but 3 cream puffs out of 5. I was thinking about something more unique, but I just came up with cream puffs. Mitsugi.
Yeah, so I think that Mashle is it's a somewhat unique anime. I mean, it's not exactly the same as a lot of other shows that are out there. It definitely borrows from a lot of different things and kind of makes its own sort of look and feel. And that's usually a good thing, but I just didn't particularly find that this arrangement of themes and ideas really grabbed me very, very well. I was the most engaged with the anime at the beginning, and around the halfway point, it kind of started to lose me. Thankfully, it just ended up being a lot of fighting, so I didn't have to, focus all that hard on everything that was going on. And ultimately, I just don't think there's a very good standout as far as the array of other shonen shows. And right now, there's a lot of fighting anime out there. I mean, like we have Rurouni Kenshin, Jujutsu Kaisen, there's Bastard, there's, Demon Slayer will be back and back and back. There's just a lot of these shows that are airing right now, and Mashle just doesn't seem to stack up very well against a lot of them. I mean, like, even a show like Jobless Reincarnation, which is not the same genre, but it's definitely got a lot of action in it. It just beats up on poor Mashle. I'd almost rather just watch more One Punch Man, because to me it's very similar. You have One Punch Man has all these villains that have all these like special powers and whatnot, and then Saitama just basically just punches you and that's it. And that's not that different than Mashle, where the magicians have all these elaborate attacks, and he just can basically punch and kick and knee people in the face, which is always cool to see. But to me, it's just kind of like an average show. It didn't really grab me all that well, and I think your mileage will vary. I didn't really hate Mashle. There's nothing about it that's just like repulsive. It's kind of like, for me, it's a little bit in like the Flame of Recca category, which is like a shonen show that just didn't really have much of a standout to keep me watching it long term. And so ultimately, I'm going to give it an average score, which to me is like, I don't know, 2.5 eye lines out of 5. I just didn't think it's not a bad show. Your mileage will vary. Like I said, some people will love it, some people won't. But for me, this show was just pretty mid, and ultimately was somewhat disappointing. But after watching 4 episodes of it, I thought it would be good, but not great. So I never really had all that high of expectations, to be honest. And that's pretty much the show. Next week, we're going to be doing a review of Heavenly Delusion. I am going to miss an episode here at some point here towards the beginning of September. So I'm not sure what we're going to review there, but I am going to be in Florida.
It's probably going to be one of the many rom-coms we
have. Maybe, yeah, there's a bunch of them coming up, yeah. So Heavenly Delusion is next week. Again, thanks to Pancake for coming on. We're going to do a hentai episode here afterwards. It's going to get, I don't know, a little raunchy, but probably not horrible. We're not actually going to be watching any hentai or anything like that. So for those of you that follow us and subscribe to the podcast, you can do it at AAA Discord. Or you can go to AAA Discord, but you can also go to AAApodcast.com/join our Patreon. Support the show to give you access to these hentai episodes, where we're going to continue the anime cat girl furry fetish discussion, which is, at least to me, interesting. And I have to thank everybody that watched on Twitch, everybody who listens wherever you're listening from, all over the world, all of you that contribute, all the members of the Discord. We love all of you guys, and you make the podcast honestly continue to function, because we probably wouldn't do it without the community. So thanks for tuning in, and anything else, Caroline?
Nope. Peace out.
It's about exactly 2 hours. We'll see you guys next time on the podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.